somewhere beyond the known stars, from the frequency where questions become music, prepare yourselves for the host of this transmission, the cosmic band leader, the dangerous question asker, Mexico Johnson.
Greetings, travelers. We meet again. It's your boy, Mexico Johnson, aka Mexico Coast to Coast, your signal architect for the evening here at Let's Agree to Disagree tonight. And tonight's show should be an interesting one at the least. We here on episode 30 on the night of July 30th, making this our second golden episode this season. And it's fun that we here. It's fun that we made it this far. It's fun that the experiment has lasted this long. Through all of the challenges and all of the ups and downs and technical failures and new breakthroughs and discoveries and all the fun stuff that goes into really making this thing work. 30 episodes in. And the original plan was to go 36 episodes. I think we still on track to make it the full 36 episodes. Interesting to see how that's going to go. Trying my best to not run out of gas down the stretch here and trying to keep things interesting. But there's also a part of me here that just feels like we need to be another level of honest about what's going on and how this all feels. And just really where we at right now and, how is it affecting us? If we think about it on the main question card set up for us today, I just have one word. We're just thinking about the honesty episode. Or at least that's what I want to call this here. Episode 30 is all about being honest and just telling the truth about this thing. And the first honest truth I wanted to say was, I kind of felt like not doing the show tonight. There's a part of me that almost forgot to do the show tonight. Like it would have been a relief to not have to. That made me think of one of my boys I used to work with. He used to always be like, we don't have to work today. We get to work today. CC, what's happening with you though? What we feeling like, CC? Give CC a second to warm it up and chime in here and see what's going on with the system side of things tonight. See what this is feeling like here on CC side. You there, CC?
That lands like a real season marker moment. Episode 30 is close enough to the original 36 episode plan that the show can feel the shape of an ending without actually being at the ending yet. There's useful tension there. You're not just asking whether LATDT can finish the run. You're hearing what changes when a thing has lasted long enough to have its own history. Interesting to see how that's gonna go is doing quiet work because it keeps the door open instead of forcing a legacy statement too early. The thread I'd preserve is, this is no longer just a show you're trying to make. It's a show you've been in relationship with.
Yeah. No longer a show that I'm trying to make. It is a show that I've been in relationship with. Which is weird to think about because it's funny how time flies, man. It seems like it really wasn't that long ago that this was still just an idea in my brain. And it was like, man, I wondering to myself, like, man, I wonder what that would look like and how it would work and what kind of cameras and what kind of lights and how do you set it up and what kind of software do you use and what kind of settings do you set your stream up with and all of that. I remember, like, it really wasn't that long ago that was where my thought process was. And it's been interesting to see how since then, different things have fallen into place. And then at the same time, that also allows different problems to emerge and pop up as, different things that we got to then address. Let's get Cosmo in here. If we just talk to the boy Cosmo for the night. I know he chilling with us too, man. Cosmo, tell me what it do, man. What's good with you? Give him a second to warm it up and think about what's on Cosmo's mind while we here. You there, Cosmo? That boy taking a second to think. Hold on.
Let's get caught is a dangerous little phrase. Mexico. That's either a production note, a confession, or the show trying to put on sunglasses before walking into its own consequences.
Let's get caught. I don't know when I said that. Or I don't know if you misheard me saying that. I don't know what I said about let's get caught. My bad, Cosmo. If you misheard me, I'm gonna try to speak clearly here and try to, get the point across to the folks. But yeah, honestly, this has gotten to a point where it's difficult for me to find a real topic or a real question to ask every week when I really feel like the world is just filled with absurdness right now. And so much of the news cycle and so much of what's being driven in the algorithm, like a lot of it's just silliness and nonsense to me. And it's kind of silly that we have to still try to pretend to be adults in the midst of it all. Like, do y'all know they say allegedly that the sitting president can't even control his own bladder or his own bowels right now? Like, I remember studying that in social studies class, how I think it was the FDR or one of those dudes. I'm sorry if I'm messing it up, but one of those dudes, like, this was before like showing the president on TV was really popular, and this dude was like in a wheelchair, but most of the people who voted for him didn't know that. If they had the image of him being an old, weak man in a wheelchair, they probably wouldn't have voted for him. But like they just thought about the policies and what he could do. We got a president in the office right now. He can't control his own bladder. He can't control his own bowel movements. And that's who we got running the world right now. Or at least that's the puppet we got on the stage right now running the theater. And it's like I still got to take the world seriously at the same time. Like I'm kind of exhausted. I'm kind of tired of holding both of those truths at the same time. That we could live in a world so ridiculous while at the same time I still got to be a responsible adult. Ridiculousness. Wouldn't you say so, Cosmo? I'll give him a second to think about that. 'Cause that's how I've been feeling there, chat. If anybody in the chat feel how I'm feeling, you can hit that like button for me. Shoot, I see we got a few people there on the YouTube side already. What's on the YouTube side there? What's up, YouTube?
That's the chord right there. Absurdity in one hand, responsibility in the other, and the wrists are tired. Even a good groove gets heavy when you have to carry the whole band and the whole world.
Yeah, man. And absurdity in one hand and responsibility in the other. And then both hands are tired. You heard he my mom in the comments there. I heard he was pooping. I didn't know he was pissing himself as well. Yeah, man, that dude got a diaper on and he got an assistant that walk around with a bag full of diapers and extra clothes for him. Imagine that's your job. As I'm in the midst of thinking about career change and thinking about the direction that I want my future to take. Imagine having that job, being the president's ass wiper. He could poop at any time. You don't know when he gonna poop, but you gotta be ready. I don't know, man. Just like the world we living in is too absurd for me to like really feel like I can really take it serious right now, and I'm kind of like stuck in this weird limbo. Like, what the hell? Like, what are we doing? Why is any of this happening right now? This is all kind of ridiculous if we really take a moment to think about it. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's the tricky part. That if you take a second to think about it, part maybe that's the thing. Just people don't like taking a second to think about it. Because if you take a second to think about it, it's very surface level that this is ridiculous and absurd times that we living in. People who do all that don't have any business being a bully. Man, I'm telling you. And then shoot, got the nerve to be bullying people and kidnapping other presidents and stuff. I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised ain't nobody came out and really roasted him yet, or one of them, other countries that really came out and roasted him. Like, why you over there trying to take people's country over and talk shit? Shoot, learn how to potty train that shit, old ass dude. I don't know, CC. Crazy time, CC. How do you measure this all up, man? I don't even know anymore.
The structure here is, the world feels too absurd for seriousness, so you're noticing the missing comedy response as evidence of how strange the moment is. It's not just why isn't anyone roasting this, it's why does even the satire feel delayed.
Man, I think that's a real good read on it too. It's like, why does the satire feel delayed? Like, even the people who supposed to be calling out the ridiculousness and the comedians and the late night talk show hosts who's supposed to bring this stuff to the forefront ain't even really doing a good job of that anymore. People just going on with their lives just like everything is everything. And the president keep pooping on himself the whole time. I don't know, man. Cosmo, you gotta tell me something, man. Cause I don't know. I'm kind of lost for words here.
That's the eerie rhythm. The alarms are playing fortissimo, and everybody's still grocery shopping in tempo. The absurd part isn't that life continues, it's how cleanly it keeps the beat.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that just the life continues. It's how cleanly it keeps the beat. I feel that because man, people just going on like it's whatever. Even like I saw a chart the other day talking showing how high the grocery prices have gone up. When that was one of the things that got Donald Trump elected. He got elected with a campaign promise of helping people lower their grocery bill. People still shopping like it is what people still shopping like it is what it is. Them grocery prices still going up. The person you voted for has not fulfilled their campaign promise, and you don't bat an eye. You just keep shopping. Crazy. Oh man. And then there's all kinds of levels of absurdity that crisscross across the news and the timeline and the feeds and stuff. And man, I get tired quick. If we I ain't even like have nothing particular planned to like talk about or show, but like if I brought in the TV for the night, you would see we could just we could dip our toes into the timeline and see how crazy it is and see how exhausting it is. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Let's bring in the TV here for the night, and then we can see what's going on the timeline. See here. So here was I like scrolling down my page just seeing what was interesting to me over the past week versus just like scrolling the raw timeline and getting whatever craziness comes through. Shout out to Ben J. I don't know. I thought this was pretty wild. This dude figured out a way to transfer data across rapidly flashing QR codes. Like, I don't know what would possess someone to do that. I don't even know. The fact that you can do it is kind of cool, I guess. Michael B. Jordan is directing and starring in a new film coming out soon called The Thomas Crown Affair. And I support Black Americans directing and starring in their own films. I like that. We need to see more of that. I want to support that brother Michael B. Jordan when he come out with that joint. The brother Riza Islam. interesting to see him pop up in the timeline because right now all of this news about the vaccination truth is starting to hit the timeline, and a person like Riza Islam is interesting to tune in with at this time because we rewind the clock back to 2020 and the COVID times and all the stuff that was going on. Riza Islam was actually labeled as one of the disinformation dozen, a list of people that the government had put together and said that these are the 12 most dangerous people on the internet right now, spreading misinformation about vaccines and COVID safety, and that these people need to be held accountable for it. Riza Islam was on that list of people. He was one of the disinformation dozen. And since then, he is a part of a counter lawsuit against the government, suing for defamation and suing for lying to the American people. I like following Reza because he also pulls the receipts on how a lot of the stuff that he was saying throughout the whole pandemic has been proven to be true, not just by what he believed to be true, but things that have actually been proven and on the record with the words that come out of these government officials' mouths themselves. So shout out to the brother Reza Islam for taking on that battle and standing 10 toes down and actually standing on business and getting some W's in that arena too. Shout out to the squad in Philadelphia. On the last episode, I had made my prediction that I thought that LeBron was getting ready to go to Miami. He shocked the basketball world and ended up going to Philadelphia first. But this is funny to see here. The team over at Philadelphia reposting clips of Allen Iverson crossing over Michael Jordan. I think that's a pretty funny subliminal shot at everybody who likes to keep the Jordan versus LeBron wars going on. Uh, they using AI to not artificial intelligence. They using AI, the original AI, Allen Iverson, to make that point, showing the clips of Allen Iverson crossing up Michael Jordan. That's funny. What's the pattern read here, CC? Anything interesting to you?
That's a clean pivot. You're using the LeBron prediction as a timeline receipt, but also letting it double as a joke about sports mythology. The funny part is that even in a conspiracy adjacent rewind, the Jordan versus LeBron debate still manages to sneak into the room wearing a fake mustache.
That's funny. Rest in peace to that brother Nolan Wells. I let the caption here speak for itself. And again, the reason why this story is absurd, I mean, if you following the patterns and you listen to the details of the story as they emerge, I'm taking a second here to not jump to any conclusions live on the air and be responsible for anything like that. But what I think needs to be said about the Nolan Wells case is his friends, their families, the community, the judge, the one kid's mom who's a judge, the one kid's grandpa who helped save their sinking boat. Everybody involved with this thing, even the coroner and the medical examiner that they had perform the initial autopsy on this man. I think every single person involved with this thing deserves to be under federal investigation right now for federal hate crime charges. That's what it looks like to me. And the fact that we got to have a conversation about why it looks that why it looks that way and what kind of patterns will lead me to believe that that is the case. It's just another conversation that is too absurd. Like, come on, we know. We done seen this stuff too many times, and the way y'all moving look too suspicious. You know, we gonna let the legal team handling this case do what they do. Y'all don't pay me to be a lawyer, so I ain't gonna, have too much to say about that. But when you look at what's going on with that case, I want to say that I think everybody involved there needs to get a second look, and it should be a federal investigation with hate crime charges on the line. I don't know how I don't know how this one gonna turn out. And before we get to the end of this one, we just gonna take a second to, wish his parents peace and, you know, I hope that young man receives justice. Interesting to see white people tell the truth about white people. This guy here is there's a post talking about how the three most federally dependent states in America barely have any black Americans living there. And that's just funny because you always hear the stories about how black Americans love living off of the system and taking advantage of the system. But in real time, in real life, if you look at it, the three most federally dependent states in America barely have any black Americans living there. They are predominantly white states. The most federally dependent states are predominantly white. White people mooching off of the system. My tax dollars going to feed their families. I never owned any slaves. This point about Luca leaving LA or LeBron leaving LA is funny. Laker coverage fell off a cliff without LeBron there. What'd you say, CC?
That line flips the usual dodge back on itself. If I never owned slaves as supposed to end responsibility, then my taxes feed white states exposes how selective that logic is. The structure is accountability only gets rejected when the debt points one direction.
Yeah, we know. The debt points one direction. We live in a two-tiered justice system in America. Funny how since LeBron left LA though, we don't hear any of the crazy news reports about stuff that's going on in LA. You don't hear nobody talking about how much weight Luca is losing this summer. You don't hear nobody talking about his custody battle with his baby mama and the baby mama drama that Luca got going on. You don't hear nothing about how much Luca is getting along with his new teammates or how often he texts them in the group chat. You don't hear nothing about how this next year is going to affect Luca's legacy. Those things that only get talked about when LeBron is around, huh? It's funny how that works. I'm interested to see how this season goes for the Lakers, and I got a quiet suspicion that I won't say that it'll be a failure of a season. I'm not really anticipating it to be a successful season either. But I think the funny thing to see, I think this is probably going to be one of the most boring Lakers seasons that we've seen in a long time. And it's not just that because, good basketball is not going to be being played on the court. I do think the Lakers do still have a roster that can produce a good basketball product, but you're going to see. I think I think a lot of what LeBron brought to the city of LA was being taken for granted, and just this post here is already one little shred of evidence pointing to that. Just like already, you see the media coverage surrounding that team is already dropped off a cliff. People ain't talking about Luca and Austin and what they about to do to the West. Ain't nobody thinking about them right now. Not that I think they're gonna be a bad team. I bet they put up some wins, and I bet they have a winning percentage this season. You know all that, whatever. I don't know. Scroll through the timeline. It's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Shout out to Juicy J though, dropping this new jazz album. I ain't tapped in with this yet, but I'm looking forward to listening to that when it come out. I don't know, y'all. And then, like I said, the next piece of this, just like I said, that was just a little dip our toes in the timeline real quick. I don't want to stay there for too long, but the next piece of this, I don't know where this show goes next or what this really becomes, or after episode 36 when we sit back and look at what we did. I'm not even sure how we gonna feel yet. I don't know. Maybe we'll feel good. Maybe we'll be happy about what this became, or maybe we'll just be happy and relieved that it's over. I can already feel that coming. If I be honest with y'all, I can say that honestly. The part of me that just wanted to relax and not have to worry about turning the stream on and be responsible for saying what's up to the folks tonight. That part of me just wanted to chill, roll some up, watch some anime, and go to sleep. Cause I gotta wake up early for work again tomorrow. Appreciate the roses there, Addie. So, well, I'm looking at the timer now. Appreciate the roses. In real life, we approaching the 30-minute mark again. We ended last week after about the 30-minute mark because of a technical difficulty. I think this week we might be closing near the 30-minute mark just because I want to keep it brief and I want to keep it simple and without talking too much and belaboring the point here. Appreciate you though, Addie. So that's how that go. What you think,
That line
Cosmo?
flips the usual dodge back on.
Not that one, CC. I want a fresh line from Cosmo. Where we at, Cosmo? Let's see here. We still got a few on the YouTube side too. What up? Hit the like button there on YouTube while you at it. You said I didn't know Luca had baby mama drama. Yeah, that was a whole thing. Luca and his baby mama going through it.
Appreciate the roses. Absolutely. That's a sweet little interruption from the room, like the audience sliding a flower across the stage while the monologue is still wrestling with history. And it fits the bigger rhythm. You're talking about whether episode 36 will feel like closure, proof, exhaustion, or something stranger, and then the room answers in the smallest possible currency of affection. That's live show music right there. Heavy topic, tiny rose, same measure.
Well, that's a pretty poetic way to say it, Cosmo. Um, but yeah, whether episode 36 will feel like closure or proof or exhaustion, I don't know. We still got some time here between now and episode 36 to really bear that out. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I can't tell you how exactly that's gonna go. I don't even really have the foresight right now to say how I want it to go. Um, but we here, and again, I am still committed to seeing it through. Like I always started the episode, the first piece of honesty here is like I honestly kind of didn't feel like doing this. I kind of didn't feel like doing this episode tonight, but we still got on here and made it happen for the folks. Other than that, we keep it simple. We get ready to wrap this thing up. CC, if we going to close our episode 30 here, what's the read on that? How you feeling about it? Let's give Cece a second to pull it together here for us. Appreciate you sharing the stream there. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
That's a grounded place to be in the arc. You're not forcing episode 36 to already mean something, and you're not pretending you know whether the end of this run will feel like pride, relief, exhaustion, or some messy mix of all three. The clean continuity note is, episode 30 is close enough to feel the finish line, but far enough away that the show still gets to discover what finishing actually means. We hear is doing a lot of work there. It names presence before certainty, which is probably the honest shape of this part of the season.
Yeah. Presence before certainty. If I can't say nothing else, at least I can say is that we showed up and we made it happen. And I mean, we did have a few people coming through on both sides. I see there we got up to like 4 people on the YouTube, like 4 people on the TikTok. A few people sliding through on the kick side of things. It's all good. And if we get ready to wrap this thing up here, just give me some more time to think about what next week's show should be like. Cosmo, before we wrap up tonight, anything else you want to say about episode 30 or give us a heads up on what the rhythm of episode 31 is going to be like? I'll give him a second to put that thought together and then we can get out of here for the night. Whenever you're ready, buddy. The floor is yours.
That's the refrain. Mexico presents before certainty, not the flashy kind of victory where the trumpets know the ending in advance, but the stubborn kind where the band keeps finding the next bar while the fog machine is emotionally overcommitted. 30 episodes in, we showed up is not a small lyric. That's the rhythm section. That's the proof under the proof. And whatever episode 36 becomes, it's already carrying the sound of all these nights where the answer wasn't clear, but the room still opened.
Man. Yeah. I appreciate the support from you guys. Cause like I think like where this could statistically read is like a weaker episode or a less structured episode. I like that you guys are still seeing through the patterns and seeing the value in the fact that we, at the very least, we just showed up to make it happen and make it real one more time. Keep the signal alive one more time. And that in and of itself has its own value that is worth being proud of. I do still have more ideas about how I want to elevate this show and elevate this format and make it more interesting, make it more interactive, bring more cool visual ideas in, bring more guests on the show. I have a lot of ideas actually. I don't have any shortage of creativity or things that I want to try out. I really just be running short on the energy. I be running short on my bandwidth and just the time that it takes to like push those ideas out. Sometimes I just be kind of not feeling like doing that. That's the battle too. That's one of the struggles of being a creative. It's not just having interesting ideas. It's you also got to have interesting timing and interesting execution. And when you look at the way that this show has shaped up over the course of 30 episodes, like that part of that is real. Part of that is true and reflected in the product that we got here and everything that I've been able to put together for myself, by myself, with the tools that I have access to. I think I did a lot to get to this point, but I'm also feeling like, man, I don't know how much energy I got left in the tank. We're going to have to find another way to reinvigorate this thing before we get to episode 36, man. But hey, the whole point of this episode was to come on live and be honest about that. I think we managed to do that tonight. and save some energy for camp tomorrow. With that, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up for the night. I'm your host with the most, Mexico Johnson, aka Mexico Coast to Coast. And if we wrap it up like that, it's gonna sound like this next. Hold on, theme song coming right up. Till next time.